Well, I'm back again. I've got the wire around the cage now, and that was a bit tricky actually. And if you decide to make one of these or a similar one, what I would advise you to do is, unlike me, use a bit thicker plywood or material at the bottom, because it's quite difficult fixing the wire netting to that. In the end, I resorted to using my staple gun, which is the only way I could think of doing it. Of course, once the wire's wrapped round and knitted together, it's not too bad. I've not dealt with the top yet, because it's where the wire was cut. There's going to be a rough edge there which I can't leave, so I'll have to do something with that. Either staple it down or perhaps put another piece of wood over the top to cover the sharp edges, because I don't want sharp edges. I've also got to make a little flap to go over the hole to seal that off. What I've done, I'll just show you what I've done with this, where the wire joins. All I've done, I've cut the thing off, and then I've got the ends of the wires and just bent them over. I've done the one side and I'm now doing the other side, and just bent them to, basically it's like hooking it together. Make sure you don't have any sharp pieces of wire sticking inside the cage, because you don't want the birds to injure themselves on sharp wire ends. So just use some, I've got some long nose pliers here, and I'm just bending them round and sort of making it neat, and it just holds the thing together. I've done most of those now, so that'll be alright. Now I've already fitted one of the holes here, as you can see, for the birds to get in. These are the rings I showed you earlier when I was making these, and I'll show you how I fit them in now. It's not very scientific, but it works. I'll put one around the middle there. All I do, I just hold the ring down, get me nippers, and then just cut the wire at about roughly where I want to bend it round, and then using the long nose pliers just bend it around. You can do the first one temporary. Make sure, again, like I said before, make sure you haven't got any sharp bits sticking out around the hole, because when the birds squash through the hole, you don't want them to injure themselves on sharp bits of wire. So you have to be careful to make sure there's no sharp bits. Just work round it slowly, just cutting the wires out, which makes the hole and also allows you to bend the wire back. The other way of doing it, of course, is to cut a bigger hole and place this on, and then just wire it in with separate wire, but I found you can do it perfectly alright like this, just by folding the wire back and hold it together. Just to, that's a couple there. Just one more there. There we go. So that's 3 I've done now. You want to have quite a few, because it gives the birds an easier way of getting out, because they might feel trapped otherwise. They can also go in through the holes I drilled at the bottom if they want to, so they can go in or out, or there's various entrances. Now you could leave it like that if you wanted, but I wanted to tidy it up a little bit. So what I've decided to do, I've cut this ring out of another old piece. This is a back of an old cupboard that was being chucked away. It's only plywood. It doesn't matter about it, you know, being outside. It'll gradually wear away, but it'll do for now. And I'm going to fit this on the top because it'll serve 2 purposes. It'll hide that sharp bits of wire there and keep it down. It'll look better as well, and it'll offer a little sort of canopy around the outside here and keep the rain off the bottom, hopefully. And that will be I'm just going to screw that on the top like so. Most dangerous tool in the workshop, folks. I've said this before, I've done videos on it. Watch this. See how dangerous that is. In untrained hands, that could have your eye out, but they're a brilliant tool. Pop that on there. Who needs an electric screwdriver when you've got one of these? Brilliant. When you're using one, it's always best to keep it on the bench in the open position. If you left it closed like that, it could accidentally fly open, and they are dangerous. If you haven't got plywood, you could use anything, a bit of tin. I was going to use tin actually, because tin lasts a lot longer, it keeps the water off, but I found this bit of plywood and I wanted to get it done to show you. Now, you've got to have something on the top to stop the, you know, where you put the fat balls in, but you don't want creatures to get in there and steal them. So what I've done, I've got a piece of old aluminium that I had from another job, and I've just cut this shape out. It's just basically 2 circles, and I've bent one of the edges up like that so it'll act as a slide, and all I'm going to do is screw that on there I'm going to use one of these same screws. I've already drilled a pilot hole for that. I'm going to put that on there, hopefully. There's my Yankee. Now you want that fairly tight to keep it down, but you don't want it too tight that you can't open it again. There you go. That's quite nice like that. Okay, now you can see now, the idea is now you can pop your fat balls in. Well, the screws get in the way of the flap now. You can just get it in there. That screw there is in the way of the flap a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It'll still work. Anyway, you fold that back, drop the fat ball in, and put that back. Bob's your uncle. So that basically that is it about. I think it's ready to fit outside. Now there's two ways you can fit it. In this case I'm going to put this one on a pole because I've already got a pole there, and I'm going to pop this on the top of the pole to replace the other one, and then I can watch it and see what happens because I can see it from my house window. And the other way of doing it is simply to put two hooks on the top. You could even put them under these screws if you wanted to. Just put two hooks and then get some ordinary wire like this, or string if you haven't got wire. Don't worry about buying anything, use what you like, anything you got to hand, and put a little loop, and then you can hang it from a tree. In fact, I'm going to make another one which I probably will have hanging, and we'll see how it goes. There it is. Perhaps you could try making one. As I say, you don't have to have it round. You can make it any shape. You can make it square. The birds won't care. But I'm going to go and fit this outside now, and put some fat balls in, and we'll see what happens. Well, there we are, folks. One Jackdaw proof bird feeder. Well, Jackdaw. I can't say the word Jackdaw. Well, oh God. Oh, that sun's bright. I'll get there in a minute, don't worry. Start again. One Jackdaw proof bird feeder, hopefully. There's just one slight design problem with it. It's too high. Look, so I've got a fat ball here. I can just about manage it to get it in the top there and pull the little thing across the top. But Mrs. Scrimper's going to have a job to reach it. She'll need a step ladder. So that's the slight design fault. Now, you could actually lift it off like that. It's quite easy to lift off. So you could lift it off and put the fat ball in and pop it back on again anyway, because it's just a loose fit. Or alternately, I can just cut the pole down. I've got a joint in the pole. I always make the poles in two pieces with a little joint so that I can actually adjust it later. But I'm going to leave it like that for the moment because the birds will probably prefer it up higher, and also they can't get to it from this little table now, the rat proofing shield. Anyway, that's the job. What do you think? Will it work or not? We'll soon find out. I'm leaving that fat ball in tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I can't see the jackdaws getting in. Whether the other birds are going or not's another matter. Bye for now, folks. Thanks for watching. Since I made the first bird feeder, I made a second one. This time it's slightly different. It's slightly shorter than the other one. Reason being that I didn't have an internal feeding thing, so I made my own out of some bit of wire I had. I made up that inner part to hold the fat balls, and I've also put extra holes around the outside and extra holes in the bottom as well, so birds can go in that way if they wish. The top part, I've used an old desktop computer panel, side panel, which was scrap, and I've cut it up and made a sort of waterproof top for it, a roof for it, and put the flap on the same. I had a job cutting that hole out. That was quite difficult. I hadn't got a drill big enough, and I had to do it by drilling all around and using a pair of tin snips, which was quite hard work, but it's okay in the end anyway. So basically that's the second one. And I shall put that on the pole on the other side of the garden, and hopefully that will keep some more birds happy. While I've got the camera going, I just thought I'd show you my little bird house that I made. I made several of these and put them around the garden in various places. It's basically just a fancy nesting box. House sparrows like them, they roost in them. You don't have to put chimneys and things on. It's just to make it look look a bit more interesting. The sparrows don't care. They're not interested in that. It's all made from recycled materials, bits of scrap wood. It's wood from an old shed I took apart, and the top is just a bit of old tin that was being thrown away. I just bent it to a point on the top here and stuck a couple of chimneys on it, and they seem quite successful. The sparrows roost in them, as well as bringing up their young ones in them.